Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to the TV Terminal. We are covering Dexter Resurrection, and this is for episode 3, Backseat Driver. My name is Adam Vale, senior editor over at the Koalition.com.
And my name is Lawrence, aka a punk with toys on all the social medias.
Oh man, there's a lot to say. Right off the bat. This is my favorite episode so far. This episode had everything. We'll get into it, but just some quick housekeeping. Shout out to all the new subs. Shout out to all the people commenting, especially when it comes to this show. This is great. One of the guys, Dave, had some good ideas. One of them might come true here because he was like, "Oh, I think this is a league of serial killers that's out there that Uma Thurman is putting together."
Well, I mean, I kind of thought. I think when I told you that I thought that they were already working for it, but you're actually kind of right. It sounds like it almost looks like they're recruiting them more than
yeah. Like they're finding them, but how do they know? Like what calls, what signs
and that's why I thought maybe he was like sending them out because the one thing, and we'll get into it in a second, was the person that what was her name? Uma Thurman,
Charlie,
when she killed him, I thought that he also had the licenses, and so
that guy. Yeah, that was a thing. Yeah, so you would think that that's their
thing, but then they almost make it sound like, and we'll get into it, like that's just something that he keeps, and so hopefully that gets explained. Hopefully that gets
explained. Another little quick one. Shout out to Ryan over on Spotify. Made a little comment about, it's like, hey, do you guys not watch the next episode trailers? And doing that, from my experience of covering shows, sometimes adding that in, there's people that we know, some of these people, they do not watch those things. They don't watch the trailers. They don't want the spoilers. They just want to watch the episode and then be surprised. Sometimes trailers show too much. Sometimes they show stuff that doesn't take place in the next episode. It could be a few episodes down. It's just too much. So that's another reason why we don't mention. That's one. The second is that since part of the press, I get screeners, and the screener access, they don't include that. They don't include those parts.
We did skip to the end to see if they were going to show anything.
Just to double check.
Discuss this, and they don't show anything. And once again, it's because we already have it early, so there's really no reason to say like, "Hey, check out next episode
for a review." So that's what we're focused on. We're reviewing it, we're covering it, and that's another reason why we don't bring that up. So those are the two reasons. But thanks again, Ryan. That was a good point. I'm sure a lot of people were trying to figure that out because it all links up to the question regarding Batista. And we had said at the end, because that was in the episode, he made it seem like he was going back to Miami and he was done. But then in that teaser trailer, you could see that he's still relevant. And no surprise, I don't think anyone thought he was leaving. He's a big character in the series, in the universe, Dexter universe, as they call it. But anyway,
we're always interested and want to hear what you guys have to think and the questions that you have, because we don't want to keep going on and someone's like, why didn't you say this? Like, ask us and we'll give you an answer. Maybe the reasons why we don't do it, or we'll go, hey, you know what? That's a great idea. Just like what I think would be a great idea right now is if you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button.
Yeah.
That way you tell YouTube, hey, we actually like these two yahoos that are talking about that.
There you go. And I always like to tell people when they ask me, what makes your channel so special? What are you doing? It's like, well, it's not so much special as that we're not just talking at you. We're talking with you. That's the whole point here. It's like, yes, we're talking about this show. We're talking about shows that we like, and we're breaking down this episode, doing a deep dive into it. But we're constantly asking for you guys to jump in and comment. And it's not because that's what everyone asks. It's because we just want to have a conversation with like-minded people that like the show. And that's it. And we jump in, we comment, we're like, hey, let's do this. If it's relevant to the show, then let's go and just have some fun and just go along for the ride, because so far I'm enjoying this show. For a long time, I was iffy on the idea of Dexter coming back. I was like, how are you going to do that? It's not going to be the same. New blood. It was okay. I got what they were trying to do and introduce Harrison. And then a lot of people, when we brought this up before, they were going to do a spinoff for just Harrison. Was that going to be a thing? clearly it didn't happen. And then we got Original Sin, and that's cool, prequel, whatever. But then this one got announced, and I crossed my fingers, and man, it's solid. The storytelling, just the acting, the set design, just everything. It's nailing it for me. What about you so far?
Again, I missed it the whole last series, so I can't speak on that.
That's fine.
I can say, like, this episode, it brought me back to, and I watched Dexter later on in life, after it was already done. It felt more like a Dexter episode.
Oh yeah,
from the beginning to the end of what he's at, for what he's doing. And then it's leading to. There are some parts that I think we'll discuss that you and I both kind of agreed we just don't really like.
You know what? Then let's just get into it. Here we go. All right. So it starts off where he is now. This Dexter. He is the driver, a drive share driver. Your drive. What was it that they keep calling it?
Ride share, I believe.
Right. They called it something else though. But yeah, it's a ride share. He's doing that. And he's already driving. He picked up somebody. Now, hey, if you're an Uber driver or Lyft driver, let us know in the comments if this is accurate. I'm pretty sure it is. But he asked about if he has water. Is that a thing? Now, if that is a thing, is that just something that you hand off, or do you include that in the bill? I would think it could get kind of pricey if you're constantly handing out free bottled waters.
First he asked if he had a phone charger, and he's like, no. Like, he's so confused over this whole thing. Like, he's so confused over it. And then he asked about the water, and he's like, do you want me to pull over? It's just like,
yeah, that's another one. That's right. With the whole phone charger thing. I don't know. I mean, some cars you can get that as an added feature for like USB ports in the back, or you could probably put like a little wireless charge. But yeah, maybe that is a thing. As we see later in the episode, Blessing just whips out a bunch of different items that you can give out.
I think. I think for this day and age, and how many people that take Uber and Lyft, and there are different, there's the black, I think black and different, different levels. And I've only been in an Uber, I think, twice, and it was literally to get from a place where we were getting our vans wrapped back to the office, and then from that place back to. So it's the only time,
Absolutely.
I don't drink, so I never have to worry about having a designated driver. I am the designated driver. Right?
There we go. But I've never taken an Uber or Lyft, and I'm sure already people are gonna be like, "What? These two old fogies? They haven't even done the Lyft in the." Yeah, I'm sorry, my bad. But hey, we're asking, right? We're not dodging it. Also, he says that he got a 3.5. Is that good? That sounds all right. That's like 3 out of 5. Yeah. That sounds average, right?
Okay. So he drops the guy off, and he gets back. And as he's like walking into his apartment, he gets the notification. It says like a 3.5, and he's like genuinely excited, and like, that's not that bad. Like,
that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh wow, that for someone that didn't have a charger or water. Hey,
and then Blessing like starts talking to him through the outside, and he's just kind of grilling him. And he mentioned something. He comes out and he mentions something about it. And he goes,
the overall average 4.2 is too low. If he hits, I guess, lower, they drop you.
Yeah. Which if I saw 4.2, I would actually think that's actually pretty good. But again, I guess I'm not driving. And
I mean, it's got to be very competitive. Just the whole process. You're competing with so many other people that are driving, and I think you can put favorites, right? You can select, this is the favorite driver and preferred. So if that person's available, then you can you build up a clientele in a way.
No idea.
But hey, it's working. But yeah, I was just surprised by all that information right there with the whole thing with that. But we also still have now the detective. Oh, the detective. She is on the prowl. She is definitely getting.
We also get the call about getting the drugs too.
The drugs.
Because after he comes and talks to him, then he gets the call, and he gets the name. He got a name from a book, and
he said it was a serial killer. It was a previous serial killer. Was it Pat? I think that was a Bateman. I think that's what the name he put down. Yeah. Now,
I'm not Pat McAfee.
Nope, not Pat McAfee. No, shout out, friend of the show. But yeah, but here's the thing with that.
We wish.
I mean, hey, I'm sure there's some Pat McAfee, maybe not the Pat McAfee.
Give me
but
some of those subs, all right? Come on.
There you go. Hey, he will. He'll name drop us one day. He'll name drop us. But here's the question with that, though. I watched all the OG Dexters. I don't recall him making a call to the pharmacy as a doctor under a name and do that whole thing. If you do in the comments, go ahead and tell me if you remember. I don't remember that because it comes up when the doctor calls, like, wow, it's been a long time. And I see that you relocated to New York and the whole thing. He's bringing those things up. So it makes it seem like I feel like we're supposed to be familiar with this.
I don't remember that at all. But it seems like it's something, especially when you think back, like there's a lot of things with specific shows, and this being one of them, that they like to make sure you point out the little details.
Oh yeah.
Breaking Bad was one of them. You know, it's like there's little details. Reacher is not one of them.
No.
It omits a lot of details.
That's it.
But there's little details, so I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, if you remember, please let us know, and it's just something we can.
Yeah, because I always assumed that he got the materials, the things to put them out, the injections, or that he got that from the lab.
Yeah,
or from within the police department, Miami PD. Because he had access to all kinds of things down there. So I don't know, but maybe this was a way that he was ordering, and the way the doctor described it on the phone was like, yeah, welcome back. And he was like, yeah, it feels good to be back, and going into the flow. I feel like that I should have remembered something here, and nothing was triggering.
And I don't either. So again, maybe it's one of those things like we never really paid too much attention because we weren't doing what we're doing now. But you would think after 6 or 7 seasons, you would have been like,
I would definitely.
I remember that. Like it never dawned on me that's what he was doing. So
there we go.
But then we get into the detectives, and they are grilling
Harrison. Oh yeah, they're going deep on this, and she's just really breaking it down. And no surprise, because the show has been pushing this detective as their Sherlock Holmes here, right? She puts on the Bee Gees and staying alive, and goes into the zone. We'll get to that part and complain because that comes up.
Okay, but so they kind of go back in a second, and you remember when he says like she's a different type of detective or whatever? Mm-hmm. They showed what she saw, and what she saw was the bags were tied differently. Mm-hmm. That's how she found the body parts, I'm pretty sure, because they specifically showed it, and you could tell that it was tied differently. And then she actually makes reference to that after her disco.
That is right. That is correct. Yeah,
so I think that's it. That was something we completely missed, because I'm like, yeah, all you gotta do is go through the garbage bags. But I guess like she noticed the bags being tied. And
the way they were tied, and that's what she was noticing. And we'll get to that, but the whole thing with the garbage bags, and they were tied a certain way, but the ones that were found at the crime scene or at the dump were tied differently. So the bags and the ties are definitely from that hotel, but it's somebody who is either not the person that usually throws out the garbage, or just someone else that used the bags to dispose of the bodies. But that's coming up. But they're asking all these questions, and we're seeing the whole little flashing of the different scenes of how she's putting it together, very much like Sherlock Holmes. Like, this is how you did it. Boom, 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 boom. We're seeing everything exactly from what we saw prior, because she could see all the footage on the camera. Remember from the surveillance cameras.
I think they do a really good job of showing they're doing a really good job of showing off everything that they're seeing. So we're seeing what they're seeing. And I think they're actually doing a pretty good job of showing off how she is also seeing things, and when she's going through it, like you can see, and they're realizing, well, there's no cameras here. There's no cameras here. You're not seen again. And, he asked about being a suspect, and they said, you're not a suspect. But they went through everything explaining why they think, hey, we think you did this, basically. I think it was in this part, right?
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. It was some of the key points, because they look at the cameras and they say, all right, we see that you helped him with this woman. It's like, oh, yeah, the wife. It's like, no, that wasn't the wife. Someone else, another one. Oh, he's playing dumb. Oh, okay, whatever.
And he did a really good job. And I will say this, during this whole time watching him. Now, again, he's acting, but he's an actor now acting when he's not an actor, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And everything, like the way he was presenting things, I'd be like, that seems believable. Just the way he's asking questions. And even the questions he kind of gets stumped with, it gets explained a little bit later when he has to explain his living situation.
But I do like how the detective compiled all the information. It fits. There's no holes.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? You're the last person to see these two enter. Did you go in? No, I left. Okay, how'd you leave? We don't see. Oh, I went to the service elevator. We're not allowed to get in the regular elevators unless we're helping a guest. Something. Okay, that makes sense. There's no cameras over there. So it all points to him. Is he a suspect? Well, yeah, until you're crossed off. But then the key part of all this is his alibi. And we brought this up, and instantly we're like, "Oh, just say it was Elsa. Say Elsa was your girlfriend that you're spending that." But no,
they're going to ask her though. But then they're going to ask her. So,
but yeah, but then I think they're good enough friends that she would lie for him. Because she doesn't have to lie too much. They're not going to get too personal. It's like, hey, did he spend the night? Technically, yeah, you could say.
Okay,
I mean,
so this is what I thought they were doing. I thought that he went out with her later on. Now, I started watching Your Honor, right? With
the first season was great. Second season was horrible.
Okay, so I only watched the first couple episodes, and then I just kind of got distracted doing other things. But when he's like, you have to remember these things after he knows that he's killed the guy and everything.
When he's talking to Adam.
Yeah. So when he takes him out on the run and he starts doing these things and looking at the grave and everything, right? Like he's like, you're not going to remember what day it was, but this is like, that's actually what I thought he was doing. Like going to meet her and like, so she would kind of maybe forget what day it was.
Oh, wow. You were taking
that's
that
what I was
a
thinking.
step further. Oh, I wasn't thinking all that.
And that's because, I mean, I only watched those couple episodes maybe 2 months ago, maybe a little bit longer. So it's kind of fresh in my head because I thought it was actually very unique. So that's a whole other story.
It was. And it's based off of, I think it was a Korean drama or something like
Your
that.
Honor was?
Something like that. It was definitely a US version that we received. It was from overseas. I think it was just the first season. The second season was made up on our end, but it's great. The first season is fantastic. The second one,
there's a few of those shows where they do stuff like that, and you're like, you know, I hate to say that you watch the British or the European ones, and you're like, damn, it's just better than the one they did for us.
Yeah.
That's another episode of things that we do.
Yeah, that is true. We got plenty to talk about, people. There you go. Just jump in, subscribe. We're just gonna keep talking shows. We got a lot of shows we want to talk about. But anyway, so he doesn't recall. He says he met up with some girl. First, he lied, said he went home, and they're like, "All right, where do you live?" Well, we're getting to that, right? We did a whole little short on it. Thanks to everybody who checked that out, and we see that it's already been shown out that he has been squatting at the hotel thanks to Elsa. She's been hooking him up with rooms, and he slips here because they were like, "All right, what's your address?" I didn't go home. That's right. I went to the bar. I met up with a girl. What's her name? Whatever. One night stand. I don't. I'll get that later. I'll get that later. He's fumbling right here, real bad.
So okay, there's a couple things here. So obviously he doesn't know. He can't remember. He's making up stuff. This here plays in even better when he finally fesses up and says,
"Oh yeah,
I'm living here." Now it's like they're not going to say, "Why did you lie?" They clearly know why he lied because he's going to get fired. Elsa's going to get fired if they go and tell, right? So like it makes complete sense. It actually makes more sense now than if he actually said, "Okay, here's where I've been living." He's squatting there.
Oh yeah, when that comes up, they
ask him, they go, setup. Yeah, like the only way this could happen is if you never left the building.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that part, but that was toward the end of the episode, and that was a big reveal right there because we knew it. We knew that he was squatting, and there we go. Then it's officially confirmed, at least from his mouth, that he's been doing.
And then we get Dexter eating with
Blessing and the family.
Blessing's family, which I really do enjoy, like the little back and forth. I like the little family aspects of things. I think it's pretty fun because here's Dexter, who is not a family guy, right? Like
no,
but he's really fitting in, and there is a huge character development from Dexter where he really has absolutely no emotion. We're actually starting to see a little bit of emotion out of him, at least in my opinion.
I
Again, it's
feel
been
we
a long
started.
time.
Yeah, we started getting more of that once Harrison was born.
Yeah.
I feel, and then definitely when Deb found out that he was the Bay Harbor butcher and doing all that, then it's like, all right, he can let his guard down because he was so uptight. Definitely those
Yeah.
early first seasons where he's sitting on the couch watching TV with Rita, and he just looks like a zombie, like he's zoned out. Like, am I supposed to do this? Oh, she said something. I should be happy.
And if I remember correctly, Rita was actually quite attractive, wasn't she?
Oh, she was.
That's what I was like.
So it's like, but he was so zoned into only thinking about things that he wanted to do outside of this, but he felt he had to keep up with appearance. But we all know the lore of this. All right, so let's see here.
But during this, like Blessing's wife brings up the whole background check, and that 10 years. You were in Miami, but 10 years, and Blessing's like, oh, stop. And she's like, no, I had to do a background check. She's very polite about it. Like she's not questioning him or anything, but she just kind of wants to know. And he just says, some stuff happened and I needed to get away. I needed to change. And
it was really cool and subtle the way she just spliced that in, because she was like, oh, so what brings you from Miami to New York? Like, whoa, what? How'd you know about Miami? And and then that website, $75,
and then $75, I can find anything. And that I can tell you is absolutely true, because when I got copyright strikes on my other channel, I paid like $5 for a week or whatever, so I could look up this person's email, so I could dispute it that it was a fake account, that this guy was just clearly harassing me, which is what was true, right?
Horrible.
So these sites are available, and what I did was when I checked it, I checked a couple friends of mine that I already would have known their information, and went, okay, yep, this is their information, and so I knew that it was legit. So these things, again, these sites here that they spend $25 on. Again, Google has all your information.
But here's the thing. I guess not all the info, because you think she would have it would have listed that he worked for Miami PD. That's what I was. That would have been even more interesting.
She didn't. She just said that he was in Miami. She never says anything about where he worked or anything.
No, but that's, I would think, part of the background check, employment.
Yeah.
Right. And so
but
she didn't bring
it
up.
She was just questioning where he's been for 10 years.
Yeah, that he dropped.
I think that's what she was more concerned with. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that is true, but she still presents all the information, because he was like, do you have? He's like, oh yeah, and she hands it over, and then that's when we find out about the website and stuff, and he uses it to find Ronald, and it worked. So then that's what we get into next. Oh, I take a sip here. All right, so
we're reading at the same time.
You're reading, and then I was taking a sip of some coffee. I drink.
So he uses the site to find the killer. Now, I do have some questions about this whole thing. So he tracks him down, with everything.
Yeah.
But I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm missing something, that when he went, don't you remember when he was first following the killer? He was about to get into a ride share.
Yeah.
And he makes a comment, or he says something, hey, you can't use mine. And the guy keeps walking. Well, if it was his, he wouldn't have said anything about it, right?
But the person saw his face. And now is the thing. Dexter saw his face. And I think he just doesn't want to be connected. That if something happens.
But why would this guy that's murdering people, why would... to me, I thought they were saying, like, he's jumping in these before people, before the person gets to
no.
So when he has him call for it, that's where I would...
He's giving fake names. That's why Blessing need to see the ID, because the person is saying that it's for so and so, and then the person jumps in and it's not that person, but he placed the order. You get it? So he's just using fake names just to get the cab in the area, and then he jumps in. And that's why when Dexter got him for blessings, he's like, let me see ID. They'll do that whole thing just to verify that it came from his phone, this and that. So I mean, hey, go ahead, comments in the below if you don't think this is correct, but I think that's pretty much how it was going. And the reason why in the last episode that Ronald or Red, as we find out later, that's his nickname, just says, all right, fine, to Dexter to take it, because Dexter looked at him. He made eye contact. And so if something happens with this rideshare driver missing, there's always a possibility. Yeah, they interview him, and then he says, yeah, I saw it was this white guy about 5'10", blah, 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 blah. So it's squashed at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, but I guess we didn't talk. Like, Dexter breaks into his house.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there because that was it. It was he through the website he found the bank statement, found information, and found that that's where he lived. So not only does he know where he works, but now he knows where he lives. He stakes out. He sees. He leaves, and he's like, all right, now he's going to go in and to his apartment, which he got from that website, which is really scary.
And he uses like people don't use your birth date. Don't use your birthday in reverse. Don't use your kid's birthday. Use something that's very unique. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's able to, he's able to figure it out, and he goes in there and he starts looking around. I do like the way he figured out where he was keeping his stuff.
Well, I mean, he was putting himself in that situation, and as we know, he's very used to hiding his trophies. Remember all his little.
But when I first saw, I thought he was noticing that there was like a hidden compartment in the floor, not that the floor was marked from him putting the milk crates up there to use it as steps. That's what I thought was unique about it.
Well, yeah,
he saw the milk crates right there. We know milk crates very well because we used to ollie over them. So
yeah, milk crates. Shout out to the milk crates.
God forbid you catch one and your whole life flashes before your eyes because it doesn't stop.
Yeah. With especially if you had little wheels. Yeah, you go faster, but they could definitely catch in one of the.
You don't. You go slower. You just have to push harder.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Smaller wheels.
In New York, we had to do big wheels because of all the cracks.
Yeah,
you couldn't do little wheels. You just keep busting your ass everywhere. So it was always big wheel, and had to get Destructos with like 2 riser pads because if not, when I lean, the trucks, it would just rub against it. Yeah, there you go. Skateboard talk 101. Here we go. All right, all right, they're like, people are gonna be like, what's up with these guys? Hey, they collect toys, they fucking skateboard and watch TV show. What's going on here? I was like, can't they move on? I was like, they got jokes.
So he finds where he keeps his trophies. He finds out where he keeps his murder weapon. So he sees what he's doing.
He cuts himself on that. Yeah.
Which I thought, like, they've already shown like the blood splatter. I thought maybe there was gonna be something left, but that had nothing to do with it. But then he talks about how much he likes the apartment, like, thick walls, so it's harder to hear, basic solitude. He's just got a computer sitting there.
One major problem, and this is a callback to the original Dexter. Too many eyes. This is an apartment building. He always likes going off the beaten path. Remember, it was like the drums and then the different locations. And
you lived in New York. I have never. I mean, I live outside of Detroit, and Detroit is a much, much smaller version of New York. There's no way not to have eyes when you're in New York, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, but then you have eyes on you from people that don't care. If that's one thing, there's so many people, no one pays attention. Yeah. But the problem is still that he's going into an apartment building and he would have to carry Red, right? Because what we see later on.
Oh, yeah, that's...
So it's like, how are you doing that? We don't see that. They cut that part completely out. And Dexter, OG Dexter, he would inject them, put them in his truck, remember, and drive them to wherever.
It was at night, at least, right?
Yeah, this was definitely at night, so he can get away with that. He still had his car, so he can drive to apartment. But I don't know. It's maybe a little nitpick. yeah, it's just a little nitpick. But
so then we get the sheriff calling Angel. Calls Angel, basically says, "Hey, he has his truck." Yada yada yada.
And Angel
Right?
did go back to Miami.
Well, yeah,
that's crazy. I don't know. I figured it would be like, you know what, because he gave the sheriff pretty much a job. He was like, hey, let me know if you find anything. I would have stuck around one day. I mean, just to take a look. Hey, let me know if you get a hit on the truck, Dexter's truck.
Oh, well, okay. So here, we'll talk about it when we get to Angel with the other people, because I want to discuss this.
Okay. Keep going.
Yeah. So then we get Blessing talking to Dexter about the ride sharing. He's going through everything that he needs, right? He's going through everything.
Oh, wait. Just to make up that part, is it? Yeah, Batista finds out that the truck, there was a hit. It had a ticket, speeding ticket back in New York City. And he's like, oh, New York City. He's like, yeah, that's where it was. So that's it. It was a really quick scene, but that was the important detail from that conversation.
Yeah. So basically, he knows that Dexter's probably in New York. Why? Who knows? Mm-hmm. But then Blessing's going through all the rideshare stuff, everything you need, a picture of your kid, like all these little things, the water. There's something else he said.
Yeah, the condom and all that stuff. But then he said, put a picture of your kid. Because people trust family men and the whole thing. He's like, oh, I don't have any of that, and everything burnt down, and he was all set. And then I took this little clip. This is a good one.
I lost my family photos in a fire.
No.
Hugs. I guess we're there.
This is a terrible tragedy.
When is a good time for a hug? Especially with that chuckle.
I don't know, but every time I hear Blessing, I just hear Rafiki from The Lion King.
Oh boy! Wow, deep cut. I
love The Lion King. It's my favorite Disney movie.
What?
So.
Oh yeah. There you go. There's some a punk
94. I actually saw it. I not only saw it with the girl that I was dating, but I also saw it with some friends that were into animation. So, yeah.
Oh man,
my favorite Disney movie.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite.
All right, there you go.
My favorite not my favorite princess one.
Man, I don't remember my favorite Disney movie. I mean, my favorite childhood movie, is not even a Disney movie. It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah, and that was a Warner Brothers. But man, I love that movie till this day.
And they hate that movie.
They do. They passed on it. That's a whole other.
I mean, the creator of it hates.
Oh, Dole. Yeah, he doesn't like that. They didn't keep his songs and.
He didn't like the version that they did, and.
Sorry, it was better than the one that he did with Tim Burton. I'm sorry. I prefer the OG and Wonka. Wonka was really good. And that's it continues on. Well, that's the prequel to the Gene Wilder one, the OG one, but that's a whole.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Wonka. I didn't think the new one was all that bad.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's fantastic. That's why he did all the same little things, strike that, reverse it, and doing all those little
gestures. With that all said, I just want to say, Grandpa, you were a freeloader. Laying in bed, and then you get out jumping around while you're letting your daughter do all the damn work for you, your wife, and the two other old couples.
Don't get me started, right?
I don't.
Yeah, that was the dad's parents all living together, sleeping on one big bed. That is horrible. That must smell horrible. Oh man, that was poor Charlie, right? Charlie, sing a sad song about your grandparents.
I don't know. He loved hanging out with his grandfather, who just mad. You know what?
That's a whole other thing. We'll bring that up on the deep. Yep.
Dexter, you should have taken care of that guy.
But yeah, that was interesting with the hug. I found that funny because he gives this chuckle, and I wasn't expecting the chuckle part, but then also Dexter's response, which is what we would expect. Like, oh wow, we're doing hugs already. I guess we're here, but all right, that was something else.
So then we have the detectives searching, and this is when she puts the headphones on because they're trying to figure out, well, let's go for a walk. And she has to put the headphones on. Now, once again, we're getting Staying Alive.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's comical how I don't know, again, hopefully by the end of the series, they kind of explain why she wears these, like what it does for her. But I like the fact that she's like super loud when she has it on it, and he's got to be like, yeah. But this is where I feel you're forcing something. Do you get it? I get the feeling we have to force something in there of what makes her so special and a savant. No, you don't need to. Okay, we've seen other TV shows, other movies where it's like we got to put the music on, right? Iron Eagle, right? The guy's got to put his headset on so he can take the stolen F-15. That might be an F-18. I don't remember.
I think
and Chappie can't ever talk to him. Like, sorry.
No, I get it, but I think they're trying to add a little humor to this, also a little more New York flavor, because as we know, Saturday Night Fever, the Bee Gees.
I just think there should have been another way they could have done it rather than putting a headset on.
No. I definitely, especially if this is her thing, if this is something she does, and she knows that she's going to talk loud because she's blasting it.
Yeah.
So if anything, just move one ear cup. But I think that's part of the comedy and the humor that she just screams at them over here.
Yeah, and I think what I'm saying is that, and I think you'll agree with this, and tell me if I'm wrong, it doesn't fit with the show.
Yeah, it takes you out in a way, but I think it's by design because they're trying to make it a little lighthearted.
I just think that there's other things she could have done, or that they could have done to make it where you can see that, okay, maybe she has some sort of autism, and I'm not saying that to be rude or anything.
Yeah, no, yeah,
but where like she just sees things that other people don't, right? And I go back to when they were showing the
with the
garbage
ties,
bags.
the garbage, and that comes up now.
Yeah, that's when they kind of showed it. So anyway, she puts the headset on. They follow. Basically, they know where the cameras are. So I like the fact where they showed the cameras. She's like, let's see where we can take it. Here's the service elevator. Where's the service elevator leave? Right down to the kitchen.
Yeah. She asks a very important question to the people in the kitchen. What time does this close? 1 a.m. Okay. So whatever takes place is after that.
So you're getting your timeline. And then that's when she sees somebody with the butcher. But now this part I thought was kind of stupid. He kind of throws it back, which instantly makes her look up. Why would you think there would be blood splatter like that? You really wouldn't. But they wanted to point out that she's looking up and she's looking at the ceiling tile and not seeing anything. Just reassuring. See, if Dexter would not have done that, she would have been like, hey, what's that spot?
Yeah.
But then you're just seeing everything that Harrison had done. And I don't think it's really that easy to clean up. I used to power wash a kitchen like once every month or two, and it doesn't clean up all that easy. But as we know in these types of shows,
and then as we know with Dave put in the comments who dealt with some tiling work, he was like, this is not how it's done.
Now I've never. Dave said that they would leave a ceiling tile up top. I have never seen that in any time that I've been up in a ceiling tile.
Some extras.
And I used to have to run cable for networking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I used to do it all the time. I'm not saying that they don't do it, and I think it's actually a really smart idea. So maybe it's just ones that I've been in.
Maybe newer builds have that. I mean, it's not so much the old, but one of the things I thought of is like, why not just move one of the tiles out of the way then? Just take that one tile and switch it, one in the corner. It's like whatever, but it's done. And that's it. But the key part of all that is two parts. Is one, the time, 1 a.m. kitchen closes. So whatever happened after. And then two, the tying of the bags was done differently. So whoever did that.
Well, first off, she saw the bags.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, those are the same bags. She followed the guy, and then he just throws it out. Now this leads to another question that I had. And you lived in New York.
Oh.
So, and I didn't say anything with when Harrison did it, but he just threw the bags out, and here it comes. And again, it's late. Obviously, it's after 1 a.m. because they were closed. You have the garbage truck come like right then. Here we have this guy. He just comes out. He throws just loads of bags. And I'm like, okay, I have a problem with this because this is not how it's done. Like, you don't just throw it on the street, especially in the middle of the day. And I want you tell everyone how it really is in New York.
That's exactly how you do it. You throw it and you see the piles of garbage bags just sitting there on the street, just stinking up in the summertime. And at night, hearing the rats going through the garbage bags. That is exactly how it's done. They are always there. Yes, some areas have alleyways. Majority of them, especially Midtown, others do not. And you'll see them all piled up in the front. But it's not just to sit there all day. It's like there are garbage trucks that come in. You have the regular sanitation, and most of them are private. They'll come, they'll pick up all the bags, but that's how they dispose of them, and they put them out. So it's not a surprise. If you look them up online, you'll see plenty of pictures.
You told me to Google street garbage New York, and I did, and you're absolutely correct. That is all over. I mean, I can't believe that they live like that, considering like we have alleys here in Detroit. Now again, Detroit is similar to New York in the fact that it's, you know, a metropolis or whatever, but not to the same scale.
Yeah.
But when you're like, hey, they don't have alleys because everything's built on top of each other. It is literally Coruscant, right?
And not only that, in some of them, even if they do have an alleyway, they still don't have enough space to put the dumpsters and all that. So it's just typical. And it also helps out the sanitation workers, because then they just have to go down the street and just gobble everything up and dump them in the trucks. They don't have to walk down an alley. They don't have to pull the dumpster out.
But these are things that you do not see when you're watching a TV that's in New York City or a movie that's based in New York City, right? You don't see this. So I'm like, this is stupid. This isn't true. And then you're like, that's exactly how it is.
That's how they do it. That's how I do it. So she complains that there's not a camera. That's what her.
If anyone else, I'm just saying, if anyone else was wondering, like, there's a bunch of bull crap. No, I thought the same thing too. So I'm glad that you were here to.
That's what I'm here for. There we go.
About street
That's it. I talk about street garbage. I did have a buddy who did sanitation work. Great job.
I talk about the stuff that happens in the TV show. This guy talks about street garbage.
That's street garbage. Yeah, it's good money at the time. I mean, they only work 4 hours a day if you get the sanitation, but it's labor. It's hard work picking up all that garbage.
I'd
and
imagine.
Stuff, you know, but it's union and stuff. Good. Anyway, she finds it an issue. There's no cameras, or there was a camera that's not working. There was something wrong with the camera. So they said, well, we're not going to be able to use that. So you need to get that fixed, change that. But this isn't secure. Anybody could have come out here and dumped that garbage. But now we get some one-on-one time. Dexter and Joe, Blessing's daughter. Remember, she's an acupuncturist, right? That's one of the things also that is a big conflict within the family, Blessing family, is that her and her husband, Sam, I think that's her husband or fiance.
Yes.
Yeah, her husband. She wants to go to grad school, or he wants to go. I think he wants to go to grad school. But anyway, it's Berkeley. It's in California, and that's a big move. And
yes and no. If you're Reacher, you get out there in about a half hour, and then you're back. It's like me driving into Detroit to do a job, and then I come home.
That's it. Yeah,
if you didn't watch our Reachers,
oh boy, the way we goof on it, people will be like, "Wow, they must hate that show. They must hate it." But we did not. We love it. We were excited for the next ones. But there's some comical scenes in that. That's like, come on now. But hey, you got to put your disbelief in.
This is one of those filler scenes with the acupuncture, only it's not, because she's explaining what the acupuncture does, and for the most part, it's basically saying, hey, this is kind of helping rejump his system after being in the coma.
Yeah, for 10 weeks, because they sort of really haven't addressed it besides that one bump when he was running down to catch Ronald get on the train. We haven't really seen him ache and do any of those type of things, like trying to get out of bed or having pains in his legs. I was hoping to see some scenes where you see him sitting in a car just rubbing his legs, because that's one thing. You're sitting in a car for a long period of time, especially if you already had prior injuries or you're not walking all the time. Your legs are going to go numb, you know? So... like, what is he? That's
why I wear compression socks.
Hey, you wear compression socks? You know, I've been hit by two cars.
I've totally fallen in love with them.
Compression. So that's a whole story with my wife. She does not like those, but she has them. But not a fan. Too hot.
So, quick side story. I'll try and make it quick. 2 years ago, when we drove down to Disney, me and my kids, I drove the whole way. I left Michigan. I had my jeans on. We get in there. We drove straight through. You know, we stopped, take sleep, whatever. My legs were starting to bug me, and you kind of feel a little bit of swelling. Don't really think too much about it. We get in there. I think we left probably about 4 in the morning, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Got into Orlando. I think around 1 or 2. We couldn't get in the timeshare yet. We went downtown Disney. I'm walking around. My feet are just like my legs are just bothering me. Pull up my pants and my ankles about like this. It's huge.
Oh, for those listening, he's just got big swelling.
Yeah, everything has just swollen, which is pretty scary because I don't have any. I've never had issues like this. So we finally got in, and we were done for the day. I just rested, had them up there, and
oh wow,
it took me a while before I decided to actually get compression socks. When I mean a while, I mean like another year. And I drive all day. Again, it's never been that bad before, but now I started wearing them, and I absolutely love them.
So who knows? Maybe our first sponsor will be compression socks. And we was like, hey, we started this early on this new channel. We started promoting compression socks. If you have socks, we'll sponsor it. Let's go. But why not? But then now we jump in with Dexter with no compression socks, sitting in a car talking to
we
his
don't
dad.
know that. We don't know that.
You're right. We don't know that.
That's not jump to conclusions.
I should not assume.
He just woke up out of a coma. They probably said, hey, you need to wear these compression socks.
Yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't have any memory loss also. I mean, if we really want to get into it, there's a lot of other side effects besides just muscle pain and stuff. It's memory loss. You know, I don't want to sidetrack people. Like, you guys have, I got hit by 2 cars, but the first one, I did get some memory loss. I don't remember. The police said they found me in one place. I don't remember ever getting to that place. I was somewhere else. Whatever. So there goes
I have not been hit by any cars.
Oh, lucky you. Not fun. Not fun.
I have done a grind across the back of a pickup truck.
That's scary.
But I've never. Don't get me started on that.
Right. If you people want to know more, you let us know in the comments. But
Don't
I'll show you a little.
Started on someone asking me to film to do a grind across the back of this pickup truck, and then when I finally did, he said, "Oh, he goes, oh, the battery just died." Total.
Forget him.
He was a total dick mood.
And then you hit him with the skateboard, and there goes.
I was a little aggravated.
Yep.
But I did it. I just wish it was on.
You did.
We're talking about 30 years ago. Anyway.
So crazy. But then, we're getting sidetracked. All right. So the Dexter's sitting in the car talking to his father. It still bothers me with that whole thing. We got to get used to it, but it's just, man, he's really losing it in all these years, still talking to his dad, but which is really just himself. But he sees that Harrison is going out on a date. And he's like, Harry's like, hey, you need to talk to him now. It's like, I can't talk to him now. It's a zombie dad is here, and try to. And it's funny because I'm wearing a Rob Zombie shirt for those listeners. I was like, oh, this is pure coincidence, people. I did not know this. He's gonna make that reference. But yeah, and he's going on his date. But the question is, what date? Who is he going with? And then we see that he's meeting up with Elsa, his friend, the one that hooks him up with all the free rooms, and Dante's mom. And I don't know. I see this as just a really good friendship. I know the way we're designed to see these shows. More. You think so?
I think he does, but I don't think that she does. And so this was when I saw this, and he was, hey, let's go to a bar, which he can't go because he's not old enough. And then they go back to her house. I thought this was going back to Your Honor, where there's the name of the show, right?
Yeah, Your Honor. Yeah.
Where he was like getting his son. You need to walk. You need to do this. We need to recreate this stuff. It'll be embedded in you, but you're not going to remember what date it was. That's kind of what I thought he was doing, but
oh wow, he was going deep with that. Yeah, no, he's just trying to. He's having all these flashes, these images. Still, he just needs an escape. And she's like, "Come on, we'll go back to my place. We'll watch Drag Race. It'll be fun." He was like, "All right, let's go." So they head over. That's it, and they just hang out. That's pretty much it.
Out, and he asked about, the
Dante's dad,
and he said, we were together for about one day.
It sounds like it was a one-night stand.
That
was it. But it brought about the creation of her son. No regrets, and obviously Harrison gets along with the kid, and it's like, oh yeah, he's a great kid. And then that's when she says, hey, if you want, you can crash on the couch.
But he kind of got up like, ooh, and then it was like, oh yeah, I'll sleep on the couch.
Yeah. But then again, I was
get used to it because it's going to happen a lot when you get in a long-term relationship.
Oh yeah, I thought though she was going to follow up, right? Oh, there we go. Now you're saying the sad parts now. Lawrence, that's a sad part. Right? Get out. Where you going? You know where to go. Yeah, give me my pillow. No, well, but I thought she was going to follow up with, well, yeah, I have to sleep on the couch because I didn't set up a room for you.
Yeah.
Because remember, she's the one that coordinates and sets up the vacant rooms that we can crash.
Oh, yeah. That would make sense.
And that would have made sense. That's what I was hoping for, because then you see them both sitting there just drinking their beer, watching TV, and then it just ended. But there was like, I don't know, 2 or 3 seconds pause where I was waiting for one more line, and
that's how I felt.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
So then we skip to Charlie talking to a staff member, and the staff member is asking a bunch of questions. Now, if we go back to Reacher, there was a specific staff member who was asking questions, and we know that she works with DEA. I don't think this is the same thing.
She's not undercover, right? You don't think she's undercover?
No, this is just, to me, like, if you're working somewhere and you're just like, you're gonna ask like these questions, like, hey, what is this for? You know, like, not grilling anyone, but Charlie has nothing to do with it. Hey, stop asking questions. You're paid really good.
Yeah. And I mean, she does name drop something. She's like, the governor's going to be here.
Yes.
Now, Charlie brought that up. And it's true, though. If you are just setting things up, it shouldn't matter who's showing up. That's not your job. It's not your concern. You should just set everything up. She's setting up the plates, doing the whole thing.
But if you're making small talk and you're asking questions, right? That's all I'm saying. You know,
I guess I don't live that life. I don't have the help, you know, to have somebody. I don't have my own butler or anything. And it's like, how was your day? Clean the table, damn it. Don't ask me about my day. You know, it's like, you take my belt off and whip the floor. Get to work, damn it. You know, it's like,
my kids would ask because they know I don't have any friends in real life.
Right? They're like, what? Oh man. But so this is something's going on, right? She's setting things up, and we find out more later, which is very interesting.
But then we get back to the detectives grilling Harrison again, and this is finally where this is where he started stumbling about where he was. Really plays into effect here, and he basically finally says,
because he still didn't know the girl's name. They were like, all right, do you have the contact girl that you're with?
It slipped my mind.
Yes,
your alibi slipped your mind. Like,
they're gonna give him an easy ride, because from what they put together, she just lays it all out, the detective, and says, hey, we see he wasn't a good guy. What you did was honorable. You know, you saved the woman from getting raped, and you did all this other stuff. So we can take this down a notch. You'll be okay. This and that. And then he says, hey, I'm gonna confess. Go for it.
But no, this is where like he just kind of says, I didn't leave. This is where I'm going he's like, I'm gonna give you a confession. And they're all waiting for him to say, yep, I broke down. He was trying to rape her. We fought. I killed him. I didn't know. But he says, I didn't leave. I've basically been sleeping in vacant rooms here.
He's homeless.
Then they ask how he's been doing it, and he said, I don't want to get her in trouble. And the detective makes it perfectly clear, like, I don't care about that. You know, I don't care about that. It's like how many TV shows that we watch where it's always something to do with immigration, and they're like, well, no, we don't have papers, and the marshal,
law and order.
Like, I don't care. Like, that doesn't. I'm not those guys. I'm not going to say anything. I'm trying to solve a murder.
Yeah. No.
So he ends up telling him that, you know, Elsa was the one that set it up and everything, and they don't care. They just want to corroborate that they've been doing this. So I think at this point he's kind of off the hook.
Yeah, I mean, once we get to the next part, when they finally talk to Elsa, but it seems very possible for the whole thing, the whole scenario, because they were like, they did the main part, and what we brought before was the timing. They're like, hey, we see you going through the service elevator, leaving, walking through at like 4 a.m. You're still there, and you look very tired. So you clearly didn't leave.
And you're going to stay off the camera.
Yeah.
If you know you're staying in, if you're squatting in the hotel, right? Because you don't want the boss to go, whoa, wait a minute. you didn't leave. What was going on? So that makes total sense.
It does. It does.
And then when I talked to Elsa, and
well, yeah, we'll get into that. But real quick, we got Dexter getting ready. He's talking to Harry, prepping for his kill. This is it. He's got it all planned out because he called in to the guy's job. He said for the name of the something network bridge or IT company, but they send out a rep to go do stuff. And Ronald Schmidt, they call him Red. I don't know any company that would just give off a nickname like that on a business call. Yeah, we just try to keep it so professional. Like, oh, Mr. Schmidt. Oh yeah, he's very meticulous. And this is oh, you mean Red? Yeah, Red.
I could see like a receptionist.
You think so?
I can definitely see like you're not thinking. You're calling on a business and like, oh yeah, you mean Red? Okay, like because that's how you know them, right?
I guess, but you don't know the person calling, and I don't know. Who knows?
But again, if they go by Red, just like if someone is asked for me, and then they were like, "Oh, you mean Larry?" Whatever, like they wouldn't. Yeah. You don't think too much about it.
Or like Red from that '70s show. I'm sure some people are thinking about that.
That's the only Red that I could think of.
That's the only Red I know too.
Well, Red Fox.
Oh yeah, Sanford and Son. Now I really feel old. I found on Pluto, that free channel, streaming service, there is a full Sanford and Son channel. If you just want to watch Sanford and Son, and I've done that, that's just put it on and just episode after episode of Sanford and Son. Fantastic.
I believe that he suffered an actual heart attack, and people thought it. I know that there's a comedian.
What, during the show? During the film?
I don't remember. I know that. Okay, so I know there's a comedian in real life because I've watched this thing about famous people that died on camera or in settings and people didn't know. And there was a guy that acted like he always got a heart attack, and he actually had one. And they said for like 5 minutes, people thought like he had faked it, like because that was part of his act, and he actually died there.
We'll have to look that up.
I think Red also.
Well, he always did. And he would stumble back and put his hand up. My heart, I can't take it no more. Maybe. Hey, we'll look that up afterwards. We'll look that up. If you know, go ahead, leave in the comments. Again, random. I'm like, I was listening to these two jabronis talk about Dexter, and they started talking about Red Fox and Sanford and Son.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you go down the YouTube rabbit hole when you should be sleeping.
Right, there we go. So finding out some deep, dark secrets. Oh boy, but so anyway, he knows where Red is going to be at Rockefeller and the whole thing. So he's like, all right, well, now he's going to set up where he's going to be the driver for that location, and that's it. That's the whole point of it, right? But we see that he's now at his apartment and he's getting ready. He's talking to Harry and doing the planning. But then it was short. It was really short. But the key part here, get to it. This is it. Batista in Miami. Shout out to all the other dudes.
Well, there was a quick the quick part where they talk to Elsa. Then Elsa confronts Harrison, I think.
Wait, did that come up yet?
That's how my notes.
Maybe
talk to Elsa.
Oh yeah. They talked to Elsa, and that was really quick. But it was just she just confirms like yes, he was with. I helped him out get rooms. He's a really good guy. I don't help him.
She confronts him right after and says, he's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, no, they're not going to say anything. But I couldn't have lied. Like I told him, like, I wouldn't help on an asshole. I think those were her words.
Yeah. She told them, also he was.
Little does she know.
Yeah, she does it. I mean, isn't that was a running joke with Dexter all the time? You're such a good guy. You could never do it.
So now come the Angel. Now we talk to Angel Batista.
Yes.
And Quinn and
Masuka
from the original show.
Oh, geez.
They show up because they find out he's retiring. So this here is where, during the conversation, he said, "I just have some things that I want to take care of, and I decided to retire."
It was interesting. All right, keep going.
Well, he mentioned something about there's something I got to tell you guys, but I got to do this first.
And he was like, he didn't want to tell him right away.
So this is why I think he believes that Dexter is the Bay Harbor butcher. He leaves too many things. He mentions too many things about like, hey, I need to figure this stuff out because why wouldn't he want to tell them, hey, Dexter's alive, right?
It brings up a lot of questions. What
I
was he
know.
doing? Where happened? Oh, well, he got shot. Why he
That's
got
why
shot?
he doesn't want to bring it up just yet. And I think that he believes that he's the Bay Harbor butcher. And he wants to prove it or disprove it before he says, hey, just so you know, Dexter is still alive.
Yeah. And I took a little clip from that one as well.
One of Miami's finest.
Thank you.
All right, well, here's to Angel Batista, the captain with the most passion.
That laugh is iconic. You hear that laugh, you think Dexter. Masuka, and man, it's fantastic. The actor that portrays him in Original Sin, he nails the laugh, and I'm sure that was a key part of his audition. And I was like, wow, you look the part of it. Can you do the laugh? Can you do the? I can't do that laugh. I can't do it. I'm not even gonna try. So
we'll try that again. What was that?
Nope, not happening. Nope, I'm not one of those. Oh, he can do it. No, I can't. I'm definitely not. But it's such an iconic laugh. You hear that? If someone just plays that part, and if you watch Dexter, it clicks. Because he used to do it all the time. That and his weird humor and stuff like that. But it was really cool to see these two show up. If you think about it, they're like the only two survivors out of everybody else from the OG. Everyone pretty much died.
And again, it's not like, to me, it's not cramming like all the old people in. It's just like, why wouldn't he have told them that, hey, I'm retiring from the fort. I'm the captain. I'm retiring. Of course they're going to show up. No, of course, maybe there'd be more people. But there's no reason to add other people into it. Right?
They don't matter. They
just want to give a cameo. They wanted to give a cameo to say, hey, just remember, this is all part of the canon.
Yeah, it's all the Dexter universe. And you know what? It doesn't mean it has to be the last time. We don't know where the show is going to go. They could always like switch things up. Maybe they need help. Somebody comes in. You know, anything's possible.
But here we have Dexter getting he's getting ready to kill Red, and he has his ride share, and we see him waiting, and then he gets in his car.
Well, a young lady tries to get in. I thought, and remember, we're looking at the time of how much time is left in this episode, and I was like, I have a feeling there's going to be a swerve. We're not going to get that kill just yet. Something's going to happen.
I'm surprised.
And I was like, oh, she comes. She's like, oh, are you for? I forgot, Jenny, whatever it was. And he's like, no, I'm here for Pete or man. I wrote it down. Where is that name? But anyways, he says no, and he wasn't BSing. It wasn't. So the lady walks away, and then the guy comes and says, are you for?
But during it, he dropped a syringe.
Yeah, he dropped his syringe, a special syringe. Then of course, Red gets in the car and says, all right, let's go. I got to go to JFK. He's like, all right, off we go. But no, the guy doesn't want to take the tunnel, doesn't want to do the fast way. He wants to go over. I think he said the GW. No, I think he wants to go. Didn't matter because I was thinking, I was like, why is he telling him to go all these other ways? But it's because he wants to kill him. And that's what's happening here. He's trying to kill him. And I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it because I have issues with this. This is my only gripe. Go for it. Because I got issues.
Well, he kind of jumps behind him. He throws his weapon, and he basically is telling him where to go. So he has a turtleneck. So he's holding on. He's pulling him back. Dexter's making some weird, I guess, jokes is what you could say. Like, he's not acting like someone who would be scared, but he's also trying to distract the guy and also trying to get his syringe, which has whatever it is that he uses.
That he knocks him out.
Yeah,
he put duct tape underneath the collar. That's something.
It's a metal plate, and again, they foreshadowed this when they saw Blessing was putting something up, and that's what gave him the idea. But we have no idea because he doesn't even mention it. They just showed that, so it might have been something anyone could have missed.
Yeah. But he's definitely not playing the victim. He's not talking all paranoid. Oh, my family, all this, because the Red is like, oh, how's your son gonna feel about me missing? Oh, well, he doesn't really care about me now. I wasn't really there for him. I mean, he's not feeding into what this guy wants, which is fear. That's what he gets off on. He likes that fear. He's like, oh, who's gonna miss you? And this and this and that. And Dexter's just playing it real calm. It's like,
yeah, because Dexter is sure he's gonna beat this guy because, well, first off, he can't decapitate him, and we'll find this out real soon. But he's basically, hey, your life is over. How does it feel like? What does it feel like to know that you're gonna die? And he kind of, he the guy pretty much has to tell him, like, dude, beg for your life, and yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, and he basically takes him around to where he wants him to go, and he kind of starts fighting with him.
In a way, it was too much of a fight. He was pulling him and stuff, and then
but he doesn't have to worry, which this guy doesn't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then as he pulls him back when he finally stopped, he's trying to reach for the syringe. Now, I thought it was like a twist, like he was twisting it, but it's actually like they made it like a saw blade. But as the guy's going back and forth, you don't see it because of the turtleneck. Dexter has a metal bracket, so he can't get through. But he finally gets the syringe and plunges it into the guy, which incapacitates him right away.
And this comes up.
My true self take the wheel.
What are you doing?
Taking my life back. And the name you stole from me.
What name?
The Dark Passenger.
Oh, there you go.
I liked how the guy was like, what? Like, he was confused, and that's when he had a second to do what he needed to do. But
he didn't name himself. Remember, they said the drivers were calling him that. That wasn't like his own nickname that he sent out to the press. Call me the Dark Passenger. It was like the people were doing that.
Explain to everyone what bothers you.
Oh man, hold on. See, now I blanked on. I had it. What would bother me?
Are you talking about the medallion?
Oh yes. Well, we'll get to it. That's why we'll get to it because I brought this up before, and we'll get to that.
This is where he talks about it.
You know what? Well, why not? We're already up there.
Where he talks about the whole medallion.
There was two things. One, we already had talked about like trying to get him into the apartment, saying that would be a good kill spot. Maybe if it was somewhere in Williamsburg, like a warehouse district, if it was something like that, then I could buy, freight elevators, whatever. But anyway, nice apartment building. He brings them back. This is where he does it. Ties them up. Does his typical form where he puts all the trophies, all the license plate stuff. Say, hey, you took lives. And then the guy said, they took my dad's life. And this is something that I brought up in the last episode. That I was like, if someone was going to go kill all these. Did you
bring it up in the episode, or is it something we talked about?
I'm pretty sure I did. Maybe we did. If anyone can remember,
backstage, but either way,
maybe. But I brought up is that who could be performing these type of kills, like going after these drivers? Who would be upset the most? And especially in New York, I would say is medallions, the cabbies that pay for those medallions, the yellow cabs. Those are expensive. They were back in the day. They were like $200,000 just to start. A lot of paperwork to do. Very expensive. You get the medallions, but at least you have the right to pick up passengers. Then when all the ride-sharing apps started coming around and they're just gobbling up, and they don't need that. And it was hurting a lot of these medallion owners, cab drivers. So it made sense that this guy would get so upset that he's doing this because he said that impacted his life because of his dad, and he was a driver, and then he ended up in the wrong cab and was decapitated and the whole thing. And he blames all these drivers for doing it.
For me, I thought he was going after foreigners.
Yeah, that could have been some of it too.
They wanted you to think that too.
I thought that until the Dexter part, until it was up to Dexter.
Yeah, that's
he didn't ask any questions about that with Dexter about where are you from or any of those type of things. He just straight up wanted to kill him. He was just go down this way. I just want to kill. So I was like, oh, then he doesn't care. He doesn't care about that. But
then we see Dexter at the back at his place after he incapacitates him, and this guy is all covered in his typical saran wrap, which you can order all this stuff on the internet.
Yeah, everything. You can get them overnight, so
which is
have
something
no
that
issues.
Dexter says in it.
Yeah. So yeah, he does that. He guy begs for his life for some reason, but he thinks, and the key part of this is that he was like, does this have to do with the invite and the money? I didn't use the money. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, it's all right there in the bag. I didn't do it. Blah, 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 blah. And Dexter doesn't want to hear any of it. And he kills him. He does what Dexter does. Puts him out of his misery. That's it. Another killer done. We're only in the 3rd episode. So, but then again, it's only 6 episodes. So I guess it makes sense. But
it also goes back to when Charlie kills the guy in Michigan, he says, you can have all the money. Like, you can have the money back. That's not what they were after.
No. Now, I'm still curious. And of course, we're going to find out what that guy did that screwed up, that he got kicked out. I'm still a little bit confused when we get right after this, because this all ties in. When Dexter walks over to the bag, opens it up, he finds the invite, and the invite says, hey, we want like-minded people to get together for this dinner. And he couldn't believe what he was reading. He's like, really? Is this for serial killers? Is this what's going on? He's like, and then there's all this money, and then there's more money to be made if you want to bring and sell your trophies at this gathering. And then he starts thinking about it, and he said, what's the chances of meeting these type of people out there? And then he looks at Red, and he's like, you know what? I guess I sort of look like him. I think I can pull it off.
And that goes back to my initial reaction for episode 1, where I was like, is this Dexter? And sure enough, it wasn't. And now we kind of get the payoff.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. Very interesting, because if the governor is going to be there, if Charlie's having this party, I don't think the governor is the boss. I think there is a bigger boss. He was just name dropping.
I think the governor's just going to be there.
Yeah.
Well, we know. Well, you know who the boss is, right?
Hey, no, we're not seeing anything. It could be a few things. There's some big names linked.
It could be, but he's right there. Oops.
Yeah, there you go. There is some big name linked. And I'm sure.
Kind of. Well, he's not really a big name.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Now we're gonna get the comments. Thanks a lot. We made it this far. Oh boy.
He disposes of the body. He cuts it up, and even though they don't really show it, you can assume it's in the 9 different body parts.
Yeah.
He wraps them up in the bags, and then he takes them to where he says police won't go.
Yeah, and he finds it in like a furnace area. And he dumps it. But then he starts reading the invite, or at least remembering what was mentioned. You have to show proof.
Which I don't know. So he fights to get the bag out, and luckily the arm is not completely destroyed, and he cuts off the finger.
Cuts off the finger.
Again, I don't know how you hide that, but whatever. I guess we'll probably find out next episode.
But that's the thing. Is it just DNA? I'm thinking it's just DNA. It doesn't matter what the finger. He takes the finger, but
I'm assuming it's thumbprint.
Yeah. Oh, you're thinking the thumbprint. I was thinking maybe that they prick themselves, they send a slide of blood, and then that gets matched at the event. So then that way,
that would be very.
If it's a thumbprint, then you have to have scanned it in their system or something. I don't know. We'll see, because it didn't say that. So hopefully it works out in his favor. I mean, it has to, right? He's gonna meet this league of, or a wannabe league, because that was my other issue with all this, is that the guy Red clearly doesn't know about this group of people, because he said, I didn't take the money. This has to do with the invite. So at first, when we're thinking that they're all in on it, this is their own private club, sort of like that group that was in John Wick. It's not. It's not. This is more like the early days of that. They're trying to recruit or put things together, or just have one of those type of meetings where, all right, we're all going to be we're going to communicate. We're serial killers from all different parts of the world, that type of thing. Yeah,
it's already kind of creepy in itself.
Very creepy if something like that happens. But what's going to be interesting is that Dexter's involved, and this could definitely spin off into all kinds of directions here. So
Yeah.
let's say if there's a bunch of serial killers all on the East Coast, or if someone's still in New York, if they want to go another season, well, then we know because you'll have all these targets. It's like, oh, he's going after, I don't know, Bob from Brazil, or whatever, and then they could always explain going to these areas to hunt them down if that's the approach that they go with it. But either way, this was great. This episode,
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's story building.
I didn't think this guy was going to get killed off that quickly.
No.
So,
and if this was an OG Dexter with all the episodes that they had, no, it wouldn't have happened. It would have waited all the way to the very end. We would have had some filler episodes or little side stories, or somebody suspecting Dexter, right? There was plenty of that, and he was having to hide. But they don't have that time, and I guess it works in our favor as the viewers, because then we're getting the meat and the potatoes. It's like, all right, let's just get there. Boom, 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 boom. We didn't think it was going to happen. It happened. Now we're already progressing. So it's like, oh, it's done. Is he going to see Harrison and focus on that? Nope. Now he's got to go meet with the League of Serial Killers at this special gathering. So the question I have for everyone is, do you, and Lawrence yourself, do you think we are going to see Dexter and Harrison reunite in this season? I say no.
That is a really good question. Is there a reason for them to? I think you might be right, because so far, like, he's in New York. I don't think he's long for staying in New York, to be honest. I think there's going to be other buildings that he's going to go after.
I don't see them reuniting in this season. I think he's just going to be so busy doing all these other things, and he'll just always be there in the shadows, and that's going to be the tease if there is for a season 2. I'm assuming there will be a season 2 based off of the reactions online. The praise has been out there. People love it. It's been getting really good reviews. So
it's getting really good ratings, and
yeah.
So there's this sets up again. I think what they're setting up right now, I could be completely wrong. I think they're setting up a final season with Batista going after him.
Oh, you know what? I'll flip that. I have a feeling Batista's gonna help him, and that'll lead up. I have a feeling that he's gonna get him involved somehow with fighting the League of Serial Killers. Something's gonna happen. Batista is going to be on his side. I don't think we need to go down that road again of having another cop try to hunt down Dexter. We already have that. We have Sherlock. Sherlock is going to still be that person. I don't think we're done with her.
Okay, well, but I'm talking next season. I'm talking final season. This is it.
Oh,
just
final
like
season.
One more. Okay, I just finished watching Justified. Justified wrapped up absolutely wonderful, right? 6 seasons. Raylan came back. If you haven't watched Justified, go watch it. One of the greatest police shows you ever see. Raylan comes back, or he gets sent up to Harlan, where he's from. He says, I'm going to put Boyd Crowder away. At the end of the show, he locks Boyd up. Boom. Ends the whole Boyd Crowder. Then he goes down to Miami so he can be with what you presume is going to be, it's his ex-wife and their kid. At the end of it, it skips 4 years. It skips 4 years ahead.
But how many seasons did that run?
That ran 6 seasons.
6 seasons? All right. So then we need 5 more seasons of Dexter over here. Resurrection.
No. How long did Dexter run for?
I think we said we said 8. I think it was 8 seasons. I think that's what we said.
6 seasons. It wrapped up his arc with putting Boyd Crowder away. It skips 4 years. He's not with his ex-wife. She's remarried, but they have a wonderful working relationship. He's in Miami. It wraps up everything with Boyd Crowder. Then years later, I think it's 10 years later, they decide, hey, you know what? We're going to do another season. It takes place in Detroit. Has nothing to do with anyone else, right? No one else. At the end of that, he decides it's time to retire.
I don't know.
He's done everything that he needs to. His ex-wife shows up with his kid, and she says, well, if you could not have retired for me, at least you did it for her. boom, wraps up that he finished up the Harlan thing, put Boyd Crowder away. Then
I don't think it's going to be
why
that
he
clean.
retired. Hold on, listen. Why he retired. Then at the end, you see Boyd Crowder break out of jail, and while Raylan is on the boat with his daughter after he retired, his phone starts ringing. They didn't do that not to set it up. They are setting this up, and they are showing that Batista is onto him, and he believes that he is the Bay Harbor killer. This is going to wrap back up in Miami with him trying to take him down.
Okay, there you go. That's Lawrence deep take.
I don't know how I tied Justified into it.
I
I just finished watching it, but
I don't know either. But hey, that could be a possibility. I think Showtime are going to follow the money, and they are going to run this dry. This is it. I think this is the ultimate run. They didn't want to kill off Dexter with the OG. They're like, no, we feel we just need to take a break. We'll be back. Michael C. Hall wanted to do other projects. Well, years have passed. They did the spinoff. We saw New Blood. That was a big hit. Then they got this. I have a feeling this is going to keep going until people don't want it anymore. And then, maybe it could very well end like that. But what we do know that does link to your part of this, Dexter is Batista is going to be part of all of this going forward. Well, yeah. Not the other two. He's definitely going to be part of it. I have a feeling he's going to help him, though. I think they're going to be a buddy cop type, not buddy cop, but he's going to try to help him and just guide him and maybe help him hunt down these killers.
So, again, Michael C. Hall is 54 years old.
Okay.
If they do another season and maybe they skip a year or two, sure, he could, but come on, does he want to continue to do the exact same? I mean,
yes, he made it. Remember, that was the whole reason why he stopped with the other one with Dexter. He wanted to die. The character died. He was like, yeah, I think I'll be ready. Oh, they didn't want to do it. Whatever, that's fine. I have other things I want to do. Well, years have passed. He's done some things here and there, but this is his breadwinner, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah, but
he's known for this character.
But I think if you have a good chance to wrap it up, and like I said, I just finished watching Justified, and then I watched over the weekend. I watched that one season of the other Justified.
So we'll leave it up to the people. Hey, do you think there's going to be multiple seasons besides an additional? I say yes. You say what? Maybe one more.
I say there's going to be one more that's going to wrap it up. That's going to be the final season. Where at the end of the season, we're going to find out that Angel is like, hey, I know he did it, but he gets away. And now he's like, I have to do this for Deb. I have to do this for the captain. I have to do this for everyone.
Yeah, no Deb. That's the other thing. I'm surprised by that. I wonder if we're going to get a little cameo because I know you didn't see New Blood, but Deb used to pop up. She was his inner voice in New Blood. And now it's back to Harry. But it'd be cool if it's just one more scene with her, maybe at the very end, if there is a very end. But hopefully they don't kill off Batista. That's not the type of ending I want.
I don't think they're going to get off. I don't think they're going to kill off Batista.
No. I don't want he gets in the crossfire. Someone tries to help Dexter. Dexter, I got you. And then they another casualty. But hey, there you go. If you made it this far, people, thank you. Thank you. This
longer than the episode.
Longer than the episode, but as others have mentioned, this is the style. We do a long form. This is the full breakdown, recap, review of the entire episode. And as you see, we're giving our thoughts along the way and a few other things. So if you made it this far, thank you. Please click the like, subscribe. We're going to cover a few more shows. We got some other things lined up. We got Chief of War. That's in August. That's really Jason Momoa. And then after that, we have season 5 of Slow Horses. Fantastic spy show. Love that show. But we'll be back next week for episode 4. So again, thanks for checking us out. And I'm Adam, and that's a Punk with Toys. And we'll talk to you next week.
Take care.